Hello everyone and welcome back to the Podcasters Podcast. My name's Louie and today we are talking all about YouTube analytics. What do views mean and are you getting enough and should you be getting more? Let's get into it. So when you start YouTube and you've launched a podcast, it's very easy to get lost in the weeds with your analytics. And YouTube provide lots of different tools and abilities to dissect every element of your views, watch time, audience, all of that jazz. But what does it actually mean and what can you do to improve upon these things? I'm here today to tell you all about it, to break down all of the key metrics that you can use to define your success on the platform, and then give you some tips and tricks on how to improve those things if you're not happy with where it's going. So the first number that everyone looks at when they start a YouTube channel is the number of views that you're getting. Now, views are most likely the highest number in that analytics kind of panel that you get. So what does a view actually mean? Well, for long form content, a view actually means any person watching your video for longer than 30 seconds. So that is what you're aiming for there. For short form content, because obviously short form content, some of it is less than 30 seconds in general. So for short form content, it is any view at all. So if anyone scrolls past your video, that will count as a view. Now, YouTube handily breaks down views on short form content into views in general, which is usually the higher number. And that, again, as I said, is anyone that even just glances upon your video for a split second, even if they scroll past it. So that's views. But then YouTube also has engaged views. Now, engaged views are where the viewer has stuck around for a little bit of time and actually watched the video. So if you're looking at your analytics and you're looking at your short form content, if you want to know how many people have actually seen your video, like watched it, you're looking at those engaged views. Now back to long form content. Obviously, if you've made a video that's gone onto the main feed, not onto YouTube Shorts, and it isn't 30 seconds long, then the viewer will have had to have watched the whole video for it to count as a view. So that's just something to bear in mind. So now that we know this information, that a view is about 30 seconds in length for those longer form videos, how do we make sure that these people stick around? So what you need to go home and do when you're editing your videos or when you're planning them is you need to put special care into those first 30 seconds. So are you going to do an engaging introduction? Are you going to do something fun with the editing where you're glitching around and all of that? Are you doing, have you got a hook, a question that you could pose? If it's an interview, is there a really good moment from the interview that you could put at the beginning to really lure people in? Think about those 30 seconds and how you're going to keep people hooked. So talking about views and the amount of time that people stick around, the next main metric that we need to focus on is called watch time. Now, watch time sits in the middle of your analytics panel. If you go onto YouTube, it's right there, and it's measured in hours. So you might see that, someone's been watching your content for 10 hours over the last 30 days or something like that. Now, view time, watch time, is how long people have been watching your video for. Kind of makes sense, right? But it's added up. So, one person could watch it for 10 minutes, one person could watch it for half an hour. That gets all added together into this metric right here. So it's really good to see. You could kind of divide the views with the watch time and see how long the average viewer has stuck around. That's a really good, interesting bit of information to know. But what we can also do with this information, and another metric that YouTube handily maps out for us, is called retention. Now, retention is quite simply how long in the video have people stuck around for. So have they come in for maybe those 30 seconds for it to count as a view, but then trailed off straight away? Or have they kind of stuck around for a few minutes and then kind of fizzled out as the video goes on? That's very common to see. Or what you might find is that there's certain spikes in different bits of the video. So people might be jumping around the video to find the bits that's most relevant to them. On YouTube, there is a retention graph and you can access it for each specific video on your channel. So you can click on a video and see how people are dropping off over time. Now, what you will find, and what we've found, is that you will have quite a steep drop off at the beginning of the video. People click on, they realize it's not really for them, or, with our brains these days, we just immediately turn off. So you might find a very steep drop in the first kind of 10 seconds, 30 seconds, that kind of area. And then obviously those people that have stuck around after the intro are going to carry on sticking around. And then you might see just a gradual kind of fizzling out as the video goes on. So with that information in mind, what you need to realize is that if you've got adverts in your video or call to actions and things like that, and they're not at the very beginning of the episode, a lot of your views aren't going to see them. They'll have turned off. So if you've got a call to action that's 5 minutes into the video, 10 minutes into the video, a lot of people won't get there. Now that's both a good thing and a bad thing, right? So the people that are sticking around are the people that are good. They like you, they're watching you, they're engaging, they're all of that. So if they're being given a call to action, they're probably more likely to do the thing you're telling them to do, which is great. But on the other side, if it's not placed within that kind of catchment of retention, you might miss out on a lot of people that might do it anyway. So look at your retention graph, think, what do I want people to do? And maybe base your call to actions and place them in the video based on that information. So, you want to start a podcast, but you don't know how. First of all, like and subscribe and have a look around the channel. There's lots of useful videos to help you on your way to starting, scaling, and thriving in your podcast career. Also, did you know that we run a 3-day event over here in Peterborough called the Podcast Profit System? Come join us in a room of like-minded individuals, meet the progressive team, learn how we do things, and there's a free lunch thrown in as well. All right, let's get back to the video. So how can we get people to stick around until the end of the video, or at least, most of the way through? So think about, your pacing. Are you delivering content in a way that is engaging and keeping people involved in what you're saying? If it's an interview, is there a really boring question that could be cut out? If you're doing solo content, is it short? Is it concise? Does it go on for any longer than it needs to? How can you really streamline your content to make sure that people are engaged the whole way through? Maybe you want to introduce some segments or some fun games or little pop-ups that come up to keep people engaged. However you see fit, just think about your content and how you're going to get people to stick around to boost that watch time figure. Okay, the next main figure that we look at on YouTube is obviously your subscribers. Now, as you're starting out, if you've started a brand new channel, you'll have none. And this is a slow climb, it's a slow burn. And what we need to use this information to figure out, is your content good or not, essentially. So your subscribers will grow over time. You'll get people following you. These people are your most loyal of fans, right? They've maybe watched your videos a few times and then decided, I like this person enough that I want to see when they release a new video. Sometimes it takes a few videos to really get someone to subscribe. They want to kind of feel you out and know what's going on, and then they feel comfortable subscribing in you. And obviously if they're watching short form content, because people can subscribe through YouTube Shorts, they might need to see you appear a bunch of times before they consider subscribing. So the key there is to really be consistent and to just try and get as much stuff out there as humanly possible, so that when people see you again and again and again, you remain present in their mind. Obviously, if the algorithm is bringing you back to them, they must like you for some reason. They've either watched it for a bit or they're engaging in similar topics. So just keep putting stuff out there on your interest, in your niche, and then people will find you eventually. In the analytics page of YouTube, you can actually see where these subscribers have come from. So if you've put out a very successful solo, maybe full video as a full page, full main video, sorry, that was weird. You can click on the video itself and you can see if you gained any subscribers from that specific video. So if you did something on a bit of a different topic for once, or you followed a trend and to see where it got you, and you got subscribers and you want to know where they came from, check your videos specifically and you will see where they've come from. You can then use that information, obviously, to create videos like that in the future. And obviously, your subscribers are your fans, so listen to them. If they're leaving comments to you, if you want to reach out to them and say, comment below what you'd like to see in the future, create a connection and a rapport with these subscribers so that, one, they stick around, because you can lose subscribers as easily as you can gain them. So, engage with them, contact them, find out what they want, and then let them kind of guide you. Obviously, you're the expert, you know your content, but do what the fans want as well. And obviously, if you feel like you're not getting many subscribers at all and you're in a bit of a drought period, then change your content, evaluate what you're doing, think, is this actually what people want? And change it. Obviously, if you haven't got much of a fan base to begin with, it's easy to pivot, it's easy to evolve. But in this content world in which we're in, try something new and see if it sticks. Honestly, no one's going to remember it if it's rubbish. So yeah, just go for it. Another thing with subscribers is, are you actually asking people to subscribe? Don't forget to add a call to action in a video at some point to remind people what they need to be doing, which is subscribing. So if you haven't already and you've gotten this far in the video, please don't forget to subscribe. What you should notice is if you're looking at YouTube not in full screen, you'll notice that the subscribe button actually glows when you say the word subscribe. Nice little feature. That's kind of interesting. So yeah, subscribe. So the next key metric that we're going to look at now goes beyond the kind of surface level initial splash screen of the YouTube's analytic page. So we're going to go deeper right now. The next key metric that we're going to look at is called impressions. Now this can be found in the content tab in your YouTube analytics page. And essentially you might need to scroll down a little bit to find it, but impressions is how many times does your video, and when I say video, I don't mean the videos in what you're watching right now, but the title and the thumbnail as you're browsing YouTube, how many times has that been seen by people? Now, this should be quite a big number. We're expecting, in the thousands, right? Because if you think about every time that you search something on YouTube, all these videos pop up. If it's been seen once, that counts as an impression. So again, this number should be quite big. Now, impressions are good. Impressions mean that your video is what we call SEO rich, right? So people are browsing, typing in things, how to do this, why should I do that, funny cat videos, whatever it might be. And your video is being fed to them. It's popping up as an option. Now, at this point, it doesn't matter if they click on it or not. We're just looking at, is it coming up in search results? So obviously the main thing that we can do to affect that is to look at our search engine optimization. Treat YouTube like it was Google. Actually, your video can pop up if you search it in Google, right? So we need to optimize it properly. So we need to go back to the basics of SEO optimization. I'm sure I've touched on this before, but titles. Is your title full of keywords? Is it going to be something that someone is searching? Or does it contain keywords that are trending? Is it interesting? Is it engaging? Is it slightly clickbaity, perhaps? Something to consider. Then, obviously, is your thumbnail up to scratch? Does it look engaging? Is it something that someone would want to click on? Is it standing out in the sea of search results as something that someone wants to go and watch? Are you drawing them in? And then kind of secondary and tertiary things come into play. So the description, have you filled that with keywords? You can use tags to an extent, although they're not that useful these days, but you're just trying to optimize the video as much as possible in order for it to go out. Now, there are some analytic tools that you can use to optimize the SEO on your videos. So do look into that if you're really interested. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, but you can get tools that analyze the SEO within your description and your title and give you a score. It is based on kind of arbitrary factors, so don't take it for gospel. Just use your own gut strength. Just give it some mind. Are you making it catchy, engaging? Are you thinking about your keywords? That kind of thing. Obviously, with this, you are at the mercy of the algorithm, so play its game. Change things if you need to. If you put a video out with a title that doesn't do very well, change it. If you put a video out with a thumbnail that doesn't do very well, change it. Change the description, change the keywords, change everything so that you give it as many shots as possible at being kind of swept up into the algorithm machine. Okay, the last metric that I'm going to look at today is related to impressions, and that is click-through rate. Now, obviously, impressions is how many times people have seen your video as they're scrolling by, looking for the next funny cat videos or whatever. Click-through rate is how many times people have actually clicked on your video based on what they've seen. So again, it's all about the SEO. It's all about titles. But for this one, I'd say it's very specifically about titles and thumbnails, right? So make sure they're right and good and nice and full of keywords and things like that. But then what you can do is you can do maybe some A/B testing on the thumbnails, What we mean by A/B testing, and I will do a video on this in the future, is you, instead of making one thumbnail, you make two or maybe even three. And they're slightly different, maybe different colors, maybe one's a bit more aggressive and one's a bit more laid back. You can load them all into YouTube at the same time, and then YouTube will organically just show them all randomly to people. So every time someone searches it up, it might appear with a different thumbnail. You might have noticed that creators like Mr. Beast have this thing where if you find their video once, it's got one thumbnail, and then you find it again later on, it's got a different thumbnail. So they are constantly changing the thumbnails. Obviously, YouTube's A/B testing does this for you. And then over a period of time, it will assess which thumbnail is the most popular. And then it will pick that one and stick with it going forward. So you can use these tools to really kind of hone in your click rate and improve it if you need to. A good click rate number or percentage is about 5%. So that's 5% of those impressions that you are getting. So say you get 100,000 impressions, then 5% of that is usually a good baseline for click-through rate. Obviously, the higher the better, but don't expect, really high percentage numbers from the click-through rate. We're aiming for about 5 to 10% here. So that was a brief overview of the main statistics that you need to be paying attention to make sure that your YouTube channel is on track for success. We need to do another video on this, would you believe it, to look at how we can use even more statistics to hone our content and appease sponsors or reach out for kind of sponsorship deals, advertisements, brand deals, things like that. There's way more analytics in the YouTube backend to explore. But for now, those are the main ones that you need to be looking at to just know, are you doing a good job or not? So have a look in your own YouTube backend, have a look at these numbers and see if you can make any conclusions for yourself and set yourself some goals to improve those in the future based off of those tips that I've just given you. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Louie from the Podcasters Podcast, and I'll see you next time.